brighten up those dark mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lekter. Mornings at the Cabin.
Wheeler and Lekter with you. Mornings at the Cabin on your Thursday morning. No Ollie. He is emceeing some absurdly early something or other.
As we speak.
As we speak, he is emceeing something at 7 a.m. What needs to start at 7 a.m. that you need an MC for?
Go-getters.
Go-getters.
Oh,
it's Go-getters
7 a.m. Yes.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah. It's the AGM for the Yellowknife Go-getters.
The Go-getters Society.
Oh, my goodness. They've been up since 5. Getting at it. They're out to go get them. What does that even mean, go get them?
They're rise and grind.
Oh,
I believe is another good one.
Rise and grind.
Yeah.
You know, every time I see something like that, like an inspirational something, like it's different from seeing an inspirational something on Facebook where it's just like, you know, go out there and do your best and you know, forget the small stuff and you're a good person and all that.
Right.
Like that's one thing. It's like, all right. But rise and grind. Come on.
I think Ollie has that written on his ceiling.
I bet he does.
Rise
and
grind.
grind.
Wakes
and
up
like
every
I mean
morning.
that okay, for that it makes sense. We're trying to bring this to the fore. We're trying to bring this up but like usually people that say rise and grind are like the people who say like, yeah, you got to get out there and hustle. You got to get out there and hustle.
Yeah.
Like,
They're the ones that go to the gym at 5:30 in the morning and the rest of us kind of hate.
yeah. I don't hate them.
I kind of hate.
Okay, fair.
A little bit.
That's fair. I should go to that's the best time to go to the gym.
No.
It's in the morning.
It's nonsense.
Isn't it not?
Nonsense.
No. When that 24-hour gym opens up, you're not going to go at 4?
Not if you're not ready to grind.
I am not. Maybe my teeth at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'd be grinding.
We'll see how the show goes. Could be a grind.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast.
Wheeler and Lekter with you on your Thursday morning. Ollie on assignment in India covering cricket. Pretty sure that's what's going on, right?
He could not be happier.
He could not be happier. He is at the beginning of a 5-day match.
This is the whole reason Cabin Radio started.
Yeah, absolutely. Is to get Ollie out there to cover cricket in India and around the world.
So I think he's covering 2 games. He'll be back in about a week and a half.
Something like that. 2 games. Could be a month.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows how long?
Who knows if the cricket season's even going on right now? He pulled the wool over our eyes.
Yes. Neither of us are dating. Well, I mean, we're not in the game. We are with people, partnered up. But
Those
we're not.
people are like, excuse me?
Excuse me. No, I said you and I. We're not dating.
No, we are not dating.
You and I
each
are
other.
currently not
No.
dating.
Yes.
But okay, so I've mentioned before that dating in this town must be just a ridiculous nightmare.
Yes.
Just because like everybody's kind of in this certain age group, there's people that you are seeing that
Right.
other friends have seen.
Yes.
Whatever.
It's a very, very small city.
A little incestuous. There's a man. There's a man. He's a Dutch guy. His name is Emil Rattleband, which is a great name.
That sounds made up.
It does sound made up. Most Dutch words do. He's 69, and he's using Tinder. He's trying to date, right?
Right.
And he is asking why he can't change his age. He's 69 years old. He wants to lower it by like 20 years to kind of increase his dating prospects. Because I imagine, I think the Tinder audience skews a little younger.
Right.
So I mean, they probably go 69, swipe left. Which one's the bad one?
Yeah. I have no idea.
No idea.
I don't imagine there's a whole lot of 60+ crowd on Tinder. I was about to say Twitter. Yeah. But that might be the case as well.
That might be the case as well.
But yeah, I don't imagine the dating pool for people within a 10-year span for this gentleman is probably exactly booming.
Yeah, so lowering it by 20 years might help him out a little bit.
Right, in theory.
But in theory, until they see him, and then they're like, well, you're clearly not 49 years old. You're clearly almost 70. What special tricks have you tried to pull in your dating life? Have you tried to trick people into dating you?
No. Which
that's probably a good
probably
thing.
explains a few things, and also is something to hang your hat on.
Absolutely, not tricking people. But don't we all trick people a little bit? Not like maliciously trick people. Like, I'm a lawyer and I have a big house. You should come see it. Oh, I'm just in this 1-bedroom apartment for temporarily while they renovate my house.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, I guess at one point in my life, I tried to trick people into thinking I was a big important radio DJ.
No, very good, very good.
So,
mission accomplished.
That did not work.
But I mean, we got to try to. I mean, not trick, but like we keep things about ourselves. Not hidden, but like
we all wear masks.
We all wear
metaphorically.
That was a mask reference.
Yeah,
that was wonderful.
Yeah, Ben Stein.
Metaphorically speaking.
You don't get too many Ben Stein references in radio anymore.
I remember when Ben Stein's money. Okay, I digress.
Anyway.
So he wants to make the most of life. He wants to, he says basically like the quote in the story is that we live in a time when you can change your name. We've always lived in that time and change your gender. Why can't I decide my own age?
Clearly not acknowledging the absurdity of his own statement.
No, of course not. Listen, I'm 69. I'd like to be 49. So all these hot young babes will Tinder date me. Yeah. What would Tinder be for someone who is in their 60s? What would it be called?
Tinder box.
Tinder box. As in everything's dry?
Maybe.
Okay. Everything's dried up. We're Tinder for seniors is called Tinder box. Everything could be a light very quickly.
I feel like this is certainly one of those look in the mirror type situations, and I'm not talking about this gentleman's physical appearance because I have no idea what he looks like. But if you are 69 and you want to change your age to 49 and you're using the rationale that you just quoted him on right there.
Yep.
I don't know if it's necessarily your age. It's probably not even your physical appearance. No. Maybe you likely have a garbage personality. I'm thinking that's the biggest issue here.
He is not a terrible looking person. He is wearing a lovely scarf.
Lovely scarf. Not unfortunate looking.
Does not look 49. He says, to finish off this story, when I'm 69, I am limited. If I'm 49, then I can buy a new house, drive a different car. I can take up more work. I have no idea what this guy's talking about.
So he's clinically insane.
Clinically insane.
Okay.
Wants to date 20-year-olds. We've all been there.
Good luck, fella.
You're listening to the best of Mornings at the Cabin. Yeah, it's a short show.
Cannabis has taken over the consciousness of everyone in the country. If you haven't tried it, you really should. It's great for you. I've never tried it myself.
I don't think it's good at all.
You don't think it's good at all?
No.
Why not?
Mostly the packaging.
Yeah,
that seems to be the biggest issue.
Yeah, huge blowback on the packaging because the packaging is ridiculous.
Yeah.
The containers that they give, the little I think you described as like a Vaseline container. It's about the same size.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, those are great containers. Don't get me wrong, but if we could reuse them, that would be so much better.
Yeah. So as listeners may not be aware. The Canadian press reached out to Cabin Radio, I guess about 2 weeks ago, just after, actually, I think it was on legalization date, and they offered to pay us money to buy a legal cannabis purchase. Just one cannabis.
Wow.
So, I mean, how do you say no to that, right?
Right.
So, Ollie took it upon himself to make the order, and part of it was they wanted us to write a story, basically outlining the whole process, how long it took, how difficult it may have been, how detailed, the vendor page or anything like that was. Yeah. Basically, just wanted a story about the whole process of buying legal cannabis through the mail. So. That legal cannabis arrived in the mail a couple days ago.
Yes.
And Ollie...
in all his wisdom.
And Ollie just tossed it my way for some reason. I have no idea why.
Why?
But yeah, just decided that I was the appropriate keeper.
A scathing indictment of you as a person.
I don't think he meant anything by it.
No, it's delicious.
Check this out, Lekter. I don't have time. I'm very busy.
Fair enough.
So I did. I took it upon myself. I opened up the packaging. And it was one of those standard, I don't know, like size of your hand-ish, size of the palm of your hand, about circumference, Vaseline looking containers. And I was looking at it and I noticed it said 1G on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, no way.
Yeah. For the people that don't know, what's a G?
1G is a gram.
Ah, okay. Great.
And I thought to myself,
is that a lot? Is that a lot of cannabis?
It's the smallest amount you can possibly buy.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I feel like a gram would last you a long time.
Maybe, depending on who you are.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. It's all about your individual consumption rate. But I was looking at the packaging, and said 1 gram. And I was like, there's no way there's just 1 gram in here, is there?
Oh, yeah.
Open it up. Tiny little bud of cannabis.
They shouldn't even be selling it in grams.
No, they really shouldn't. I guess it's, you gotta.
No,
I don't know.
No,
it's tough, but I'd heard people complaining about the wasteful packaging used, and now just seeing it firsthand, this tiny amount in this, not giant tub or anything, but like an excessive amount of packaging.
Yeah.
Plus the cardboard packaging that comes, around that.
Yep.
And then you got the packaging that's coming in the mail.
Yep.
That's necessary. But I was like, I can't believe this. This is really excessive. I see what the complaining is about.
Pretty
now.
gross. I think that will correct. I think that we'll figure it out. I mean, for some reason, even with years of building up to this moment of legalization, it felt like everything was just sprung on everybody. And it's like, I don't know what packaging to use. Let's just use this.
Right.
We'll use this packaging. We didn't think it out very hard. I mean, because it's government regulated, they have to have excessive packaging. I'm not sure what the issue is, but I mean, they have to have some kind of packaging that really kind of says, like, we can regulate this, we can seal it, and we can make it safe.
Yeah. I'm sure just for ease of logistics and moving product, the government just contracted out some company to make 1 billion of these, these plastic tubs.
Now,
and just thought, well, it's going to save them money to just basically get standard sizes, right? Health Canada did say in their guidelines that packaging must, quote, prevent contamination of the cannabis, be tamper-proof, and be child-resistant.
Of course.
Obviously a step up from, when it was illegal. So that's obviously the biggest reason for it is they needed something that satisfied all of those components. Is it excessive?
Yes.
Probably. Like you say, hopefully as we move along in this new age of legalized cannabis, that things get a bit more sensible.
Well, reusable, right?
Yeah, well, exactly. What we're, I think, really hoping for, what would be the ideal situation is when we get to that point where privatization is a thing, and we can actually have walk-in dispensaries with maybe jars of product like you used to see in, well, I assume you still see in Vancouver and, downtown Toronto, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That you can walk into those and bring reuse this plastic tub and just keep using that. I mean, it would go a long way in the future.
If you could bring your own friggin' cup to Starbucks, you should be able to bring a container.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Wow.
You bring your own cup to Starbucks. Oh, yeah. Yeah, great on Starbucks. Go. Yeah, good. Look at them. Yeah. 1 billion steps the wrong way and 1 step back the other way. Good for them.
Yeah. Progress.
Yeah, progress. The packaging is absolutely excessive. It is recyclable, I imagine, but Canadians and Yellowknifers are notoriously bad at recycling.
Yeah, that's another thing is you can make them recyclable, but unfortunately you still can't rely on people to recycle responsibly.
You really can't.
As much as we would like to think that that's just a given now, unfortunately it's not.
Even with things like cardboard, and cardboard's like the easiest thing to recycle. Yeah, crush it, put in a box. That's about it.
Yeah,
that's all you got to do. So I think that will correct. You'll be able to fill your own, especially if you do get into private dispensaries where they can measure out their own cannabis. Like right now, it's like they've measured these. They have these pre-measured amounts, and they've got these containers, so they have to use them.
Yes.
But I mean, you shouldn't be selling in grams anyway.
Yeah.
But
no, probably not.
You made an excellent point. It's kind of sad when the black market is less wasteful than the government.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast, where we cut out all the great music and you're left with the rest.
Mornings at the Cabin, Wheeler and Lekter on your Thursday morning. I gotta tell you, Lekter, I do not feel good.
you don't look good, Jesse.
Thank you. I don't feel good. I don't look good. I'm not having a great morning.
To paint the picture for everyone.
Don't paint the picture.
Everyone
don't
listening.
Paint any pictures. It's
Jesse
absolutely my fault.
Is currently wearing an industrial sweater.
Yeah.
Fully lined on the inside.
I am wearing a Carhartt hoodie, a toque, sweatpants, and wool socks right now. I'm cold.
You look like you are ready to pick a grocery order in the freezer section.
Let's do it. Let's get that. Let's get it. Let's get the ice cream and let's get the frozen stuff.
Put your gloves on.
Put your gloves on.
Get on your electronic jack or whatever those things are that they ride around.
That is what we need to move these frozen items.
I worked at one for about a week. It was the worst job I ever had.
Really?
Yeah.
At a grocery store?
Worked at a Loblaws warehouse.
Bob Loblaws?
Yeah.
AD.
It was intolerable.
I was it?
Yeah, worst job I've ever
never
had.
worked at a grocery store. What? That's the worst job you've ever had?
Oh yeah, by far.
Well, we were going to talk about something else, but now here we are.
Oh, okay.
So that was the worst job you've ever had.
We'll save that other much more positive break.
No, that's way too positive for the morning show. The worst job you've ever had, was that a grocery store?
Well, it wasn't a grocery store. It was a warehouse that put together pallet orders to ship to grocery stores.
Oh, God.
So it was basically the step between slaughterhouse and grocery store.
This meat is ridiculously fresh. Worst job I've ever had. The junk removal job at times, the first job I had when I got to Vancouver, when I was
the one you called demolition made sound a lot cooler.
Oh, it's so cool. So cool. Because we got to do some demolition. Very little of it. But yeah, when I first moved to Vancouver and I was a struggling actor, and getting my start out there, I worked at a junk removal job, and it was not great sometimes.
No,
really not great sometimes. Okay, so there's that one. Because I had it for longer, I'll call that the worst one, even though it wasn't that bad. It had some good stuff, like lots of exercise and stuff like that. For the most part, it was, just
I don't know if that's really a good job quality.
All right, but
I got lots of exercise.
Plenty of time outdoors. But for the most part, it was like removing like construction materials and stuff like that, which is pain. But I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
But the worst part of the job was that the biggest contracts were BC Housing and BC Native Housing, and these were fairly low rent places.
Right.
And some of the BC Housing ones, BC Native Housing wasn't that bad. BC Housing was like they bought out a bunch of old hotels for like low to no income folks to live.
Right.
Basically do whatever they want. And
Yeah.
part of those were triage, which is basically where you go to die.
Right.
You go to do whatever you want. And so one of the first jobs we had, we went to triage, and I opened up this room that we were clearing out, and the floor was covered in needles. And the walls were smeared with blood and human poops, and it was not great. That's probably one of the worst jobs.
Yeah,
one of the worst jobs.
Okay, that beats mine. Yeah.
And one of the other worst jobs, I spent 3 hours at a call center. 3 hours. And that was it. That was it. I was like, I went to the guy's office. I was like, listen, I'm not going to do this anymore. I got to go.
You know what? That actually reminds me of another one of it wasn't actually a call center, but ironically, I was hired by an individual who was living in Winnipeg at the time. He was not a local radio station personality, but he had a background in radio. But he currently had a studio set up in his home, and somehow had made his name as a Ryan Seacrest type in the States.
Yep.
Had a syndicated radio program on a number of stations. I don't know where exactly, but in the United States primarily, and did like a top 20 countdown weekend show. And he basically worked by himself. Yeah. Did this whole show by himself. Got it sponsored by himself, and he hired me to basically do sales for him and get the show sponsored by additional businesses.
Okay.
I spent one day.
Yep.
My office was his couch with his dog licking at my hands as I typed on a computer.
Absolutely.
And we both knew after about a 7-hour period it was not going to work out.
You lasted 7 hours, though, buddy.
That was literally my first hired job in the radio and broadcasting industry.
Oh, man.
7 hours.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
Lasted longer than I did at that call center. And that wasn't even selling stuff, because you had to move up the ranks. You had to go from like just calling people out of the blue to ask who they were going to vote for to then you got to move up to sales. It was bad. I think I made a dozen calls, and I got hung up on like 8 times. I got told to F off a couple of times.
Yeah. Builds character.
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't. No. It really doesn't.
Destroys your soul.
Kind of destroys your soul.
Yeah.
So after 3 hours, I was like, I don't have much soul left.
Too much to live for.
I have too much to live for. I can't be here. And the guy was great. He was just like, oh, but you're so good at it. It's like, you don't even know who I am. What's my name? What's my name? It's
Jamie?
It's Jamie, right? Yes, it's Jamie. Jamie's got to go.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast was recorded before a sort of live, thankfully not in the studio, audience.
Well, it's National Parents as Teachers Day today.
Yeah, teachers, that means I guess it's a day off for teachers. Wouldn't that be what it would be? Like teachers would be like, oh, the parents are coming in? I am not showing up, especially today because it is now snowing buckets.
Well, I guess the concept is it was developed in the 1970s in Missouri. When Missouri educators noted that children were beginning kindergarten with varying levels of school readiness. Research shows that greater parental involvement is a critical link in the child's development of learning skills, including reading and writing. How to observe. Take some time to teach your children something new. And use hashtag Parents as Teachers Day to post on social media.
Well, we don't have kids.
I take issue with that.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's National Parents as Teachers Day. Presumably, parents are teaching their kids something new every day.
Presumably.
Correct?
Yeah, but not necessarily. We were just talking about how, like, we have dogs. I have a dog.
They're not children.
Exactly like children. Children. And how, like, we're renting a house now. We have a backyard, so we can just let the dog out every once in a while. Take her for a couple walks a day, but then just let her out to romp around in the snow and do her business. You could do the same with kids, right? Just let them out. Let them
out in the backyard. Do
one and
business.
two in the backyard.
Right.
Hopefully they don't eat it, like my dog. My dog's an idiot.
Even jokes aside, we are enraging parents right now. They put up with that every day. I got a dog at home. That is not the same.
The exact same thing. I don't understand how people can even dispute that. Having a puppy is arguably more difficult than having a child. So I'm pretty sure I know what I'm talking about because I've had a couple of dogs in my life.
Right.
And it's been really trying.
It's really frustrating.
It's really frustrating when they don't listen.
It is.
And here's the thing about puppies. You can make them pretty smart, but they're never going to be as smart as your child as it grows. Yeah. So there, you get it easy once they hit 10 or 11 and they can do stuff on their own. Once a dog hits 10 or 11, it's probably going to die soon. So, I mean, that's another reation why dogs are much harsher than kids.
All right. That deflated.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. It was perfect.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast. Hey, it was early. What do you want from us?
Wheeler and Lekter with you on your Thursday morning, joined by extra special guest who's not been here in weeks and weeks and weeks. How dare you, Leslie Creed.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Hello, good morning, Leslie. So you did not get called into work this morning?
I did not. Everyone was healthy, apparently, and showed up for work today.
I am not healthy today. I feel terrible. It's totally my fault. Don't tell anybody why, though.
You could have guest hosted for Jesse this morning.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm not getting up that early to come in and guest host. At least my work's a reasonable hour, 8 o'clock.
Yes. So you were worried. You hadn't been on in a while, but you were worried about not having anything to talk about because, landscaping season is obviously done for the year.
Yeah.
As we look outside and more snow is falling. We just got everything cleared up.
Let it snow. Let it snow. Let it. No.
I honestly don't mind. I love going out walking in this weather.
I do too. But I mean, now that we're renting a house with a sidewalk and a backyard and a porch,
it's a lot of work, isn't it?
And a driveway. I'm like, come on.
That's a lot of work.
It is.
Yeah.
But so landscaping season is done, but we have you here. We have that plant that you gave us.
Oh my gosh, I'm not.
Scott's going to show you the
I know.
plant, and we're going to see what your reaction is.
What's its name again?
Streptocarpus.
Streptocarpus.
Well, it is a streptocarpus, but I think we named him Carpy.
Carpy.
Right?
Carpy the Carpus.
Carpy. Well, here's Carpy.
Oh my God! What did you guys do?
Oh no!
No one thought to water this.
We've been watering it every week. It's gotten worse because nobody's watered it in 2 weeks.
Oh my God, that's so sad. That's murder. That is plant murder here.
Is it dead?
Oh, for sure. Look at him. He's just. You could probably.
There was some really lush green stuff on it at the top of it still last week, but apparently someone just put it in a microwave. It looks like.
So sad.
I know it is sad. I'm very sad.
My heart's broken a little bit. I wish this is not how I started my day.
To be fair, this is all your fault.
Don't give plants to people that won't take care of them, people. This is the lesson in life.
Put them in the proper pot.
Yeah. Okay, I did say it might have been my fault a little bit.
Yeah,
okay.
But like this is like 100% your fault for not watering this plant.
We watered it.
We tried.
We did.
We gave it a shot.
Yeah. It's just one of those chores no one could get to once a week.
You
right?
know,
Yes, like,
not to victim blame or anything, but the plant really didn't help itself.
really.
I gotta
like
say.
pull
It
yourself up
didn't
by your
retain its
bootstraps.
water. It didn't store it in its leaves long enough.
Yeah.
Like,
It
come
didn't-
on, streptocarpus.
I think we can all agree. Actually, okay. I won't put the blame on you, Leslie.
Okay. It was a bit of a triangle situation
I
that
think-
probably.
well, I think we can
this
all
plant
agree
died.
that Shannon didn't do her job.
Don't throw Shannon under the bus.
Shannon Moore, 1-4, killed the plant. And this afternoon, she will explain all about why she did it and what her motivations were, and
hopefully apologize.
I'm hopefully
bring
apologize.
some closure to this dark period.
I know she's had a lot of bad things happen to her. So.
I think I'll pick a plant next time that is hardier and can live in harsher environments.
Yeah, what about
than maybe the streptocarpus?
Not a Phalaenopsis, but the red one with the yellow thing. You know what I'm talking about.
Like, I love when people try to like describe plants to people, and they're like, "It has leaves that are green.
It's got leaves that are green. It's got leaves. Some of
It
these
drinks water.
Yeah, but
you
it's
know
like-
that one.
It's a very popular house plant. It's like it's got like the red leaf with a yellow like stem, like a really bright yellow stem coming out of it. Like it's incredibly popular.
I don't know how popular it is. 'Cause
It's incredibly popular.
I don't have one.
Okay.
No one I know has one.
Yes, they do.
Is it like the Hulk Hogan plant?
No,
or
it's not the Hulk
something?
Hogan plant. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
Okay, we'll
gotta
have to
look it
think
up.
about what this plant is.
Correct
but-
me, but in our defense, that's a seasonal plant, right?
Yeah, that's right.
No, I got it
Oh.
to transplant
Nope,
into
no.
a house plant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So that
I tried him out in the garden. He did actually pretty okay in my potted plants.
Right.
Although I never did bring one in for the garden because he got September frost got him before I got him inside. So,
It's an anthurium.
oh, okay.
And you know, so I looked up red leaf, yellow stem, didn't come up. So I looked up the other name that I once heard of it back in the day, which now my Google search history has this. This is what it's called. It's got a nickname. It's the little boy's penis plant.
No, it's not.
Exactly what it's called. It was the first thing that popped up when I searched that. So it's an anthurium, and that's what it's called.
Oh my gosh, that's too funny.
I see why that's not the common use term anymore.
They are beautiful, though.
You know,
The
like
plants.
The plants.
the common names are supposed to be very good descriptors for
And it is a
what
great
it looks
descriptor.
like.
It's a great descriptor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are some really interesting plants. Like, have you ever looked at those like lip plants?
Oh.
And
Lip
they
plants.
look like lips.
Oh, duck lips.
They're like big red lips.
Oh.
Oh, that sounds
Those are
great.
pretty cool.
That sounds
Or
cool.
the goldfish plant.
What? The goldfish plant?
Yeah, there's like a plant, and
It
its
forgets it's a
flowers
plant
are
every 5
orange, and
seconds.
they kind of are in the shapes of like fish. It's really neat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plants are so cool.
Well, I'm sorry we let you down, Leslie.
No doubt. Sorry.
I'm not gonna like. I gave it to you guys, and I'm amazed it actually made it this long. I'm not gonna.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right.
Well, good for us.
Yeah, above expectation.
Yeah.
That's like that's what we like to go
But
for.
next
here
time,
for
I'm
cabin.
definitely going to give you a plant that's way harder to kill. Like,
is
it
necessary.
literally just lives in the air, like, barely uses any water.
That is our ideal plant.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You give us something that won't die.
As much as we try.
We'll probably won't kill it.
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca.